All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So Jeff, thanks for joining me this morning here. So we're just going to have a quick conversation about your experience inside of Legacy Farmer. So just for the person listening to this video, what's your name and where do you farm at?
I am Jeff Heinley, and I farm in western North Dakota.
Okay.
And on a big grain farm. I farm with my father and brother, and
Okay. And then you got wife and 3 girls at home, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So first question we're going to ask is, what was not working in your life before Legacy Farmer? Because I know it was a big decision between you and Amy coming in and joining and investing the time, energy, and money to come in. What was really not working in life that pushed you over the edge and said, hey, we got to change something?
What wasn't working was just doing the same old thing. I'm sure every farm, in working with family, and you're doing the same thing all the time. Bury your head and work. That's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
It just, for no rhyme or reason, we just got to work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was doing, and not thinking of long-term goals. And I always had negative feedback loops in my head, and thinking everyone's always against you, kind of, and just in a bad place, I guess. And
Did you feel alone?
I didn't know why. I feel like I should go to a loony institution some days. And everybody else, of course, when you're in that state, it looks like everybody else has it going on. Why am I not where everybody else is at in life? And I think that's a lot to do with the social media,
Yeah.
Played like it. My life's great.
Yeah, it's easy to portray in our industry. So how did you notice, with the things you were battling, across key areas of your life, how did you notice it impacting family life at home?
I was trying to please everybody. And in doing that, I was pleasing no one, because you can't be a fence rider. And you got to get your priorities straight. And I just had none. I didn't have a list of, and my wife would tell me these things before this, I'll be honest, and I just wasn't listening.
Mm-hmm.
I felt I had to, if I listened to my wife, I wasn't pleasing the business world. And I guess just feeling uneducated, and then you start getting self-doubt, and just goes from there, I guess.
Yeah. And you just feel like you're on an island by yourself, and nobody gets you. Nobody understands you. Nobody gets it.
Yeah. You feel so alone and depressed, and that is so far from the truth, but you just don't know that.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. So you and Amy have been in the program with us for about 2 months now. Okay.
Yeah.
What are some key things you've noticed changed for Jeff, just for Jeff? And then I'll ask you about Jeff and Amy. But right now, what are some of the biggest things that you've noticed have changed for Jeff?
Biggest thing is I got my confidence back. I feel like a man again.
Okay.
Not like that, crying like this, but I mean.
No, I get it. Because there's so much darkness inside of the ag industry, especially today. And you run around and you do the same thing over and over again, and you're always told growing up that, hey, just work harder. Things aren't working out, get your ass in the truck and go work harder, right? Go get to work. And the thing is, it burns you out, and then it negatively impacts you and Amy at home, impacts you as a person, and impacts every area of life. And people don't really think through that.
Yeah, it's crazy how much emotion is built up, and you don't release it ever.
Trained and conditioned not to for years.
Usually I'd be more embarrassed about what I just did there, but I don't. That part of my life, I don't care anymore. You're gonna poke fun at me, go ahead. It doesn't matter.
And it is the primary reason you really don't care about that anymore, strictly because we have 50 plus guys just inside of our Empire group that are all feeling the same thing.
Yes, absolutely. You think you're alone in this group, you're like you say, 50 guys, and they've got your back. Like I could type something on here and I'd get a bunch of responses instantly. And
Yeah.
it's a weird thing because it's like you don't know these guys, but like
You do.
you know them big time from I don't know if I want to mention stacks or not,
Oh yeah,
but
for sure. Yeah.
that is one of the biggest game changers.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and two, like, I want people to know how many acres. I mean, are you comfortable sharing how many acres you guys are farming?
Yeah, I guess we pool our resources, my brother, my dad, and I farm a little over 5,000 and they do the same. So we're a little over 16,000 total.
Yeah. And I wanted to say that just for anybody watching this, they know it's like Jeff isn't some just like small farmer, like trying to get by. Like, no, this is a sizable family operation with real issues, real challenges, and several, several decades of just spinning wheels and not having any clarity on what to do.
Hey, I'm in the real world here. I got debt,
Yep.
but
Yep.
that's not even the issue anymore to me. Is this program is opening my eyes to getting yourself right, and that's one thing in this industry too. It's like you take care of the combine or the semi or whatever, you take care of everything else, then maybe you'll give some attention to your family, and you do nothing for yourself.
Yep.
You don't. You got to invest in yourself, and that's one thing you've installed in us in this group. And when I say that, and it's a wonderful thing.
Well, it's because these guys, look at how many 60 and 70-year-olds are there today that are in a worse position than they were when they were 40. They've done nothing but give everything to the farm their entire life, and robbed from their family, robbed from themselves, everything.
They're just very strong-willed, and that's another thing that in everyday life now I've installed. Tried to. Some days are good, some days are bad. That's human nature, but is fact and truth and everything, and take that emotions, get that out of there.
Yeah. So what are the biggest things you've noticed change between you and Amy?
I think the biggest thing is that the communication is just on point. And we used to have phone calls and she'd hang up on me, or I just felt like and I probably was just saying the wrong thing all the time. And I remember this one all the time is that, well, it's not like I'm sitting in the bar, I'm out here working. And,
Yeah.
yeah, but you're not paying attention to your family, dude.
So we're in the middle of planting season right now for you guys. So how has this planting season been different from the past between you and Amy?
I've done this since 98, and I'm not going to say it's stress-free because that's not the truth, but it's relationship wise and even work wise, it's been the most on point I've ever been with planting before. It's the stress is at an all-time low, and I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
I've got clarity and focus.
Yeah. Okay. I was just going to ask you what's the biggest reason for the stress, but I knew it was the clarity and focus on, hey, I'm actually moving forward right now, and I'm not just spinning my wheels hoping for higher prices and better weather and these magical years that everybody thinks are going to come.
Yeah, that going around with the head cut off does nothing for you. And that was me.
100%. Okay. All right. What's been your favorite thing about Legacy Farmer and everything that we have going on here?
It's the community,
Okay.
the other guys in the group. It's just in the core four, I guess, like the stack, especially the stack is a big one. It's you love to hate it. I think it's to push yourself every day. Some days it's easy, it flows. Some days you got to push yourself. It's like you say, when you're having good days, you're like, I don't need this, but you need to do it. You got to train your mind.
Yeah. So like the community though, I mean, have you found any other community in the ag industry like what we're doing here?
Non-existent.
Yeah, non-existent. Because the stuff we talk about, it's not just rainbows and sunshine. We're talking about the real shit, the real problems, the real challenges that people are dealing with, the stress and the
Both.
emotion involved
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
All
Okay.
fluff.
Everything. Okay. All right. Last question is like, let's say, and like we talked about before the call, people in the ag industry, it's hard to build trust with them, right? That's completely understandable. If somebody's driving down my driveway when I was growing up and we didn't know who the vehicle was, dad's like, where's the shotgun? Right. So trust is hard to gain here. Right. So what is the one thing you would say to somebody that's, maybe they got a smaller farm than you, maybe they're a bigger farmer than you, maybe they're just a salesman in the ag industry and they just love the ag industry and have a passion for it, but they're on the fence about legacy farmer. They're on the fence about joining what we're doing here just because that sense of trust isn't there yet. What would you say to somebody that's like literally on the fence about this?
Be real. In your group here, we have accountability with the group, and that's kind of key also. Mm-hmm. And just don't be generic in the same old, like I say, fluff. That is so old, overdone. It doesn't work.
So let me ask it this way. What was the one thing? Okay, because you and Amy on the phone before you guys initially chose to come in, right? What was the one thing that happened that pushed you guys over the edge? Because I remember on the phone, Amy was like, "Should we do this?" And you looked at her, or no, maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was you asking her, and she's like, "Yeah, we need to do this." What happened that you guys were like, "Hey, like we got to go"?
You related to us. And how did you relate to us? The truth. You had stories of your life. I mean, you just know you weren't making anything up. You can't make this kind of stuff up. People know that. People see that. This isn't Hollywood.
Yep, 100%.